Today's going to be a fun one. I am going on a single pilot IFR flight from Myrtle Beach to home at Spruce Creek Airport. So it's a perfect day to talk about real world IFR process and everything. So today I'm going to show you the whole thing. So here we go. It's time to start up. So first thing I do is battery 2, wait for the screen to light up. The reason I do this is to verify the temperature of the oil and also to verify the essential bus voltage. So oil temperature is 77, essential bus voltage is 24.5. Now battery 1, mixture rich, throttle wide open, prime. And now this can take a few seconds to kick in, but we're watching fuel flow here and we're listening for the sound. Once we hear it, 1, 2, 3, 4, then low boost, 1, 2, 3, 4, then throttle back to the E and crank.
Now you're probably wondering why I don't put the headset on first. The reason is because I want to hear the engine and I want to hear everything that's going on in the plane to see if anything sounds unusual. The next thing to do is right away put on air conditioning. Okay. Now let's start getting ready. We are full fuel today. We've got a flight plan in ForeFlight that is right here.
I typically work out my flight plan in ForeFlight prior to getting in the plane. Then I use Bluetooth and the FlightStream 510 to send that flight plan to the panel. A lot less typing and knob twisting this way.
Myrtle Ground, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, also at the GA ramp. Request IFR to 7 Foxtrot Lima 6.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, Myrtle Ground, clear to 7 Foxtrot Lima 6, airport as filed. Maintain 3,000, expect 6,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 127.4, squawk 3432.
Okay, clear to 7 Foxtrot Lima 6 as filed. Initial altitude 3,000. Expect 6 and 10, 127.4 and 3432 on the squawk. 7 Tango Juliet.
Hurry back, correct.
All right, so we took our flight plan. Since we were as filed, I had it queued up in ForeFlight, and then from ForeFlight, I literally just sent it to the panel using the FlightStream 510. Now it's into the system here, and they gave me an initial altitude of 3,000, so I'll put that in the altitude bug right now. They also gave me a squawk code of 3432. I'll put that in there in the squawk code, and now I will ask them for a taxi to active. And likely they're going to give me the same clearance that the other Cirrus in front of me got. So let's see. Myrtle Ground, 547 Tango Juliet, ready to taxi.
7 Tango Juliet, runway 18 taxi via Bravo, just confirm you have information Echo.
We have Echo, taxi via Bravo to 18, 7 Tango Juliet.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. So we're going right behind that other Cirrus up there. Since he was first, I'm going to slow down and let him go first. And when I'm taxiing, I always like to have the actual map of the airport diagram on the screen. So it's the big home button on the Perspective Plus. That gives me the map, and then I zoom in so that I can see all the taxiways and see everything that's going on. This is basically Garmin's Safe Taxi that's showing up on the screen, and it is an incredible level of situational awareness. You can not only see every single taxiway, the taxiway's labeled, you can even see other traffic. So you see the airplane in front of us that's taxiing. They have, I can see them on the map here. And both of us are going to need to do a run-up out there, so I am not going to, get too close to him because I want to give him a little room, figure out where he's stopping for a run-up, and then I'll figure out where I go for a run-up based on wherever he goes. So today, I usually don't do this, but today, by request, by one of the members of our channel, I've got a request to say, show me a full IFR flight. So that's what I'm doing today. And the full IFR flight is really one of the simplest things to do because essentially what you're doing is following instructions. That's about it. Whereas when you file VFR, or when you go VFR flight following, you basically take on a little bit more responsibility for everything. I normally go VFR flight following, and you can see why in the video that's linked up top. But today I'm going IFR, and the reason is that it's a busy day. There's a lot of traffic in this Class Charlie airport, and there's also a lot of TFRs and military airspace between me and home. And the safest way to navigate airspace that you're not familiar with, that has TFRs and MOAs, is to simply go IFR, and then you don't have to worry about any of that. And I'm not exactly sure where he's going to stop and whether he's going to turn, and I don't want to really be in his prop wash, so I'm just going to stop right here. There's nobody behind me, and so I'm going to do my before takeoff checklist right here. So the way I do that is checklist up here, before takeoff. Oh, doors. Both are latched. Caps handle. Let's get the caps handle out. I got a nice spot for it right here. That way it's sort of a visual trigger for me. If I don't see bright red in front of me, I know I have a problem and I gotta get my caps handle. All right, let's continue. Seatbelts are set. AC is set.
Taxiing left to right, you'll see a Baron, just so we know to get that traffic in sight.
Fuel quantity is full, starting off on my side. Fuel pump boost.
Juliet, just give way to that Baron. You can taxi to Park via Bravo.
Flaps to 50. Transponder is set. Autopilot is queued up. Queued up to 3,000. We don't have our assigned departure heading yet. Autopilot, we'll test it with a level button. Disengage. Boom. Now, let's put the frequency in for tower as our standby, and I'll put in 127.4. Whenever we fly IFR, we try to stay as far ahead of the plane as possible. And so if you know the frequencies coming up, put them in. So that's what I've done here. I've got the 128.45, which is tower. Then I've got on standby COM 1 is 127.4, which was part of my clearance. All right, next up, brakes. Over to the engine page. We'll do a run up to 1700. And this is traditional in any piston airplane. We want to run the engine up, make sure both magnetos are working fine. So we'll get it up, in this case, around 1700. Then we'll go one notch on the mags, back to both. Two notches, back to both. And what we're looking for here is a drop of less than 100, and the difference between the two should not be that great either. Gauges are all in the green, temps are in the green. And we are ready to go. So, back to the checklist. Boom. Power lever. Boom, boom, boom. We did all this. And flight instruments. HSI, altimeter. And flight controls are free and correct. I think I'm ready. And tower 547 Tango Juliet, ready in sequence at 18.
Here's 547 Tango Juliet. Roger. Hold short. Runway 18.
Holding short. 7 Tango Juliet. Now, some airports that are busier than this one, they don't want you to call on tower. They just want you to line up because the tower has a good visibility to where you are, and they're too busy to clutter up the frequency. But here, I don't know what their local convention is, so I'm just following the normal standard thing, which is once you're finished with your run-up and you're ready to take off, you call tower and let them know you're ready. But one of the things I do when I take off is I keep it on the map page because I have all the engine instrumentation right here. Some people like to have the full screen engine page, but I prefer this with a 2.5 mile zoom on the map. That way I have good situational awareness of all the other traffic in the area. And if you'll notice, I've pressed the takeoff go around button, the toga button, and that creates this that says TOTO, and that puts in
Cirrus 1 Charlie Mike, contact departure. Have a good day.
That puts in a flight path marker. That puts in a flight path marker at 7.5 degrees pitch.
Be about another 30 seconds for departure spacing.
Copy. 7 Tango Juliet. Nice of him to let me know that. Now this is the default. This is 7.5 degrees pitch up. That is the normal takeoff in normal environmental conditions. If it was a super hot day and maybe I had
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, turn right, heading 210, runway 18, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 18, heading 210, 7 Tango Juliet. All right, here we go. I'll tell you the rest of that story later. Now we've got a huge runway here, and so there's no need to even come to a stop. We'll just roll right onto center line, and as soon as we're lined up on center line, then we'll slowly introduce power. Here we go. As we introduce power, we're going to start introducing right rudder. We want to stay on center line. We'll be adding more right rudder as we go. We're keeping an eye on the engine instruments. Little gusty winds today.
Power, Baron 610, Charlie Tango, home short 18, ready for takeoff.
Baron 610, Charlie Tango, 1 tower, fly, runway heading, runway 18, clear for takeoff. Traffic's 2 miles out on the right base, Cessna.
Now we are greater than 90 knots, positive. We're greater than 90 knots, positive rate of climb, clear of obstacles, so flaps coming up. We don't make our turn until we get to the end of the runway. Once we get to the end of the runway, we will turn to the assigned heading of 210.
Southwest 3027.
There we go.
Final outside of PD for the ILS 18.
Southwest 3027, Myrtle Beach Tower, wind 240 at 12, gust 16, runway 18, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 18, Southwest 3027.
600 feet, caps available.
Cirrus 7 Tango Juliet, contact departure, take care.
Over to departure, 7 Tango Juliet, thanks. Myrtle departure, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, climbing out of 1,100.
Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, Myrtle departure, radar contact, maintain 6,000.
Climb 6,000, 7 Tango Juliet.
Number 73, Victor Bravo V for altitude is at your discretion with landing purposes. You're going to be number 3 following the citation
Right.
in the left downwind for runway 18.
Okay, Victor Bravo is going to be descending to 1,000. We'll be looking for the traffic.
Okay, so I'm still on a heading. She did clear me up higher to 6,000. Direct Charleston, 7 Tango Juliet. So she gave us a clearance to our first fix in the waypoint. So I did a direct enter on Charleston and then hit the nav button on the autopilot. And we've got a beautiful view of the shoreline southbound here. Okay, so far, everything has run smoothly, no surprises. Now, as we're doing our climb, one of the key things that we're keeping an eye on is our cylinder head temperatures right here. Now, you'll notice right now I'm doing a indicated airspeed climb at 125 knots. I'm got a climb rate of 1,100 feet a minute or so, and temperatures are under control. I want to keep the temps under 380, so right now it's at 374. As the temperature rises, I will increase the indicated airspeed, which will reduce the vertical speed. So instead of 1,100, maybe drop it down to 900 or 850. That'll help keep the engine cylinder heads cool during the climb. Manual says operate it with the engine temps below 400 on the cylinder heads. My personal operating practice is I go out of my way to ensure that the cylinder head temperatures are always below 380. Today we're not going to fly very high because we have a pretty strong headwind. Even at 6,000 feet, we're going to have about 25 knots of headwind. If we go any higher, the headwind will just get worse and the trip will just get longer. So we're going to stay at 6,000 today for the flight home. That's another thing we do is we plan our altitude based on what the winds are doing. Since today I've got a strong headwind, the higher I go, that headwind is just going to get worse. So today I'm going to fly at 6,000 feet. I'm reaching my target altitude. Once I reach my target altitude, I want to make sure I'm looking at my engine gauges to see how everything looks. I'm particularly paying attention to cylinder head temps. I've reached my target altitude. I'm under 380. I'm at 376. I'm going to let everything stabilize for a few seconds. Once that happens, I'm looking for a negative trend in the cylinder head temperature. As soon as I see a negative trend, that's when I begin to lean out for cruise flight. So right now it's at 374. It should go down very soon. So here we see the cylinder head temp is now at 372. So now I'll begin to lean. The best leaning technique is to bring it back to 30.5 inches of manifold pressure. And when you get to 30.5, you'll see a little blue cyan line that comes up here. We do a big mixture pull and get down to that blue cyan line. Once we're at the blue cyan line, then we wait. And when we're waiting, what we're waiting for is to see the turbo inlet temperatures stabilize. Now, if you put the mixture exactly on the blue cyan line. The turbo inlet temperatures tend to go around 1625, maybe 1650. But based on the advice that I've gotten from the best Cirrus mechanics in the country, even though the book says 16 to 1650 is okay, their best practice for operating temperature is having the turbo inlet temperatures below 1600. And in order to achieve that, you go just a tiny bit below the blue cyan line. And here you see I'm settling in at 1585, which is pretty good. Cylinder heads are 350. Over time, in another few minutes, that will probably go down a little further. Once we get to the 30-minute mark in cruise, now we have a decision to make about the fuel pump. There are two schools of thought here. Neither one of them are definitively right. It's just your personal preference. Some people say in a turbo, just leave the boost pump on low boost the whole flight and don't worry about it. Other people say after 30 minutes in cruise, turn the boost pump off. And the logic being that that reduces the wear and tear on the fuel pump and it should last longer. Generally speaking, fuel pumps last about 1,000 hours anyway, and so I'm not worried about extending the life of a 1,000-hour part. And so I usually leave the boost pump on the whole time.
Tango Juliet, please call traffic, no factor, contact Charleston 121.27, 2127.
121.27, 7 Tango Juliet. Charleston approach, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, 6000.
547 Tango Juliet, Charleston approach, altimeter 2988.
2988, 7 Tango Juliet.
So that's it. We get ATC handoffs like the one you just heard from Charleston to Savannah, to Jacksonville, and ultimately to Daytona approach. But that's where it really got interesting.
We're about 82 miles away from our destination. Weather's not perfect, but kind of good enough. Let's go check out the weather at our destination. So the weather's marginal. Jack's approach, 547 Tango Juliet, request down to 4,000.
November 7 Tango Juliet, descend to maintain 4,000 and change to my frequency 120.75.
Okay, down to 4,000 and over to 120.75. 7 Tango Juliet. Let's get that descent dialed in and going. Switch over. Jack's approach, 7 Tango Juliet, back with you on 120.75.
7 Tango Juliet, thanks. Toronto 241 heading 350, contact approach on 127.0.
Now, the reason I asked for this descent is because I can see there's a bunch of clouds up ahead. They look like they're around 5,000, so I'm going to try to get under those clouds. But the weather...
Mike 3,000, rainbow limit.
The weather near my destination doesn't look great. Ormond is showing broken 1,200 and raining.
2,000, 67 Delta Delta.
Ormond Beach is showing broken 1,200 and rain, 2 miles visibility.
241, 127.0.
Daytona is showing broken 2,000, thunderstorms, cumulonimbus. And New Smyrna Beach is also showing broken 25.
With 7 Tango Juliet, do you have the weather for Spruce Creek?
Affirmative.
With 7 Tango Juliet, I maintain 3,000.
Down to 3,000, 7 Tango Juliet. All right, finally a little lower, just in time. We're about to break through these clouds.
November 7 Tango Juliet, flight heading 170.
Heading 170, 7 Tango Juliet. I make sure everything's kind of secured now in the cabin because it is likely to get pretty bumpy.
With 7 Tango Juliet, for 10 degrees right.
10 degrees right, 7 Tango Juliet.
With 7 Tango Juliet, contact Daytona 125.8.
125.8, 7 Tango Juliet. Daytona approach, Cirrus 547 Tango Juliet, 3,000.
361, the field just went IFR, so we're not able to do the visual now.
All right, Roger, for Check 361. Is it still possible to do the ILS for 25 right?
Yeah, I can do that, but I mean, what I'm seeing, I wouldn't do it if I were you.
Oh, that
It may look better out the window.
That's not comforting. Daytona approach, 7 Tango Juliet, request lower.
7 Tango Juliet, unable to lower right now.
Oh, you can see this is a very busy frequency. Lots of training planes here from Embry-Riddle and ATP.
Clear track 361, turn right heading 090.
There it is.
090, clear track 361.
Career track is the call sign for ATP. one of the big flight schools here.
And the 7 Tango Juliet, turn 10 degrees left, vectors for preset.
10 degrees left, 7 Tango Juliet. And approach left looks worse to me than right.
Say again?
Going left looks much worse to me than going right.
Okay, then continue present heading. I'm showing that heading right there is all clear right now.
Yeah, about a 185 heading is looks good out the window.
And the 7 Tango Juliet, fighting 185.
185.
All right, here comes the rain.
Daytona approach, 7 Tango Juliet, request lower.
7 Tango Juliet, unable, expect lower in about 6 miles. Multiple IFR aircraft beneath you.
Copy, 7 Tango Juliet.
Keeping me at 3,000.
Daytona approach, 7 Tango Juliet. Can we get right 10 degrees?
7 Tango Juliet, 10 degrees right is approved. It must look better out the window because that would not be my idea for you to do, but 10 degrees right is approved.
10 degrees right, that's a 195 heading. 7 Tango Juliet.
Roger. 7 Tango Juliet, just for your planning purposes also, there's heavy precip over the Spruce Creek Airport at this time.
Copy.
All right, so we're 15 miles away. He's still keeping us high at 3,000. Well, we're definitely going to be logging some IMC time for this flight.
547 Tango Juliet, descend and maintain 1,400.
Down to 1,400, 7 Tango Juliet.
That's what I needed to get out of this rain. Or at least out of the clouds. It'll probably still be raining. You now slow down. Put 18 inches of manifold pressure, mixture rich, boost pump on, switching tanks to the fullest tank. Descent checklist complete. Got 54 gallons of fuel. If it's raining too much, I might go into a hold.
And 7 Tango Juliet, turn right heading 240.
240, 7 Tango Juliet.
Spruce Creek Airport, 12 o'clock and 5 miles.
Copy, not in sight yet.
All right, it's in sight. Look at that.
7 Tango Juliet. Most of the heavy precip is south of the runway, but they might be moving in between about a 1 mile final for the runway 24.
Field in sight for 7 Tango Juliet. We'll cancel IFR now.
Receive, squawk VFR, change advisory, good day.
Forward advisory, over to 1,200, 7 Tango Juliet.
1,200.
Spruce Creek traffic, Blue Cirrus 7 Tango Juliet is on 2 mile final, runway 24.
Okay, we got a crosswind coming from the left.
Spruce Creek, Blue Cirrus is clear the active runway 24. Spruce Creek.
Okay, so that was quite the flight. And this is what an IFR flight in real world conditions is. We took off in pretty good weather. There was a little bit of forecast weather along the way, but the weather at the destination was kind of rough. So we landed in some rain. Little rain, little crosswind. As you can see, single pilot IFR is all about paying attention, planning, patience, doing exactly what the ATC controllers tell you to do, and then asking for deviations as you need them. Sometimes they work out and they cooperate. Other times, like this time, they are not able to cooperate. But either way, hope you enjoyed the ride today.
If you like this video, you might enjoy this playlist up here. If you want to see what YouTube thinks you'll like best next, check out the video down here.